Visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats. Are you tired of living in pain? At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, they make it simple. From head to toe, spine to extremities, they've got you covered. Their multi-specialty team of experts in orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, podiatry, physical therapy, and occupational therapy all work under one roof to get you back to living life pain-free. Don't wait another day. Visit prairie-ortho.com today or call them at 402-489-4700. Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins.
Did you know that deer collisions are covered under the comprehensive portion of your car insurance? That means, like with hail damage or vandalism, since they are out of your control, they don't usually raise your insurance rates. And that's a good thing, since most deer don't carry liability insurance. At Eustace Body Shop, we fixed all kinds of animal collision damage, from cows to raccoons, bobcats, and even turkeys. We can't do much for the animal, but we can get your car back on all fours and looking like new again.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Your possibilities are endless at Doane University. Rooted in liberal arts, you can choose from undergraduate and graduate programs, all delivering real-world experience. At Doane University, we take a personal approach to education, giving you the guidance you need to own your future. It's not just our long history of innovative learning, it's the feeling of being surrounded by possibilities that makes us different. Now is your time. Apply today at doane.edu/apply.
Welcome into Business Builders on 93.7 The Ticket. Business Builders is where grit meets strategy and good ideas grow into great companies. Here are your hosts, Matt Warner and Rebecca Pearson.
Good morning. Here we are on O Street, Saturday morning, 9 a.m. It's not quite a beautiful day, but it is. A little bit of wind. I'm here with Matt Warner. He's back. DP filled in for you last week, so we can, you can write him a check later.
I love it. I did not get the show last week. I was overseas. I was in Italy, literally for 16 days. Yeah. So 16 days of not being at work, which is the longest I've ever been away since 2009 when I started it. So I started the company officially April 1st, 2009 on April Fool's Day. Isn't that ironic?
We got so much to work with there. By the way, this is Business Builders at 93.7 The Ticket. Matt Warner, Rebecca Pearson. All right, go for it, Matt.
All right, I'm out of the groove. Yeah. I even texted you this morning. I'm like, I got to get my brain back into work mode.
Let's tell everybody they can text us too at 402-464-5685. Drop questions in the chat. Come by and see us. It's game day with Michigan State. We got this, Huskers. Go Huskers. Okay, Matt. You've been out of the country for 16 days.
I have.
Where have you been?
So I literally, we went on we've been planning this for about a year and a half. And for about a year and a half ago, I was super nervous because when you leave your company, as any business owner knows out there, especially the smaller businesses, it's really, really hard to leave, mostly because you just love being there and you love what you do. It was funny. So I was at the airport in Chicago last night getting ready. By the way, flew into Lincoln last night. I highly recommend the Lincoln Airport to anybody. It's easy. It's fast. It's clean. The bathrooms are awesome. Everything about the Lincoln Airport
is amazing. Everybody needs
Please, everybody give it a shot, even if it's a little bit more,
right?
Because we need it here. It's just
more convenient. And when you factor in your gas and your parking,
it's huge.
Within $100, if you're going for more than a couple of days, you got to go out.
If you live in the surrounding area, Lincoln, Norris, Greenwood, that it is so easy and quick. Get this, literally, I texted Benjamin. I said, "Hey, come pick your mom and I up when we landed." And by the time we got our bags, he was there, and he came from Waverly.
Right.
I mean, it's like 16 minutes.
Right.
It's nothing, folks.
It's awesome. And there's no line there when you're picking people up.
And
right?
the
It's
Omaha
easy.
airport is beautiful also,
It
and
is.
it's very
And the new-
nice.
yeah, the new
and
structures in Omaha, very
I think
nice.
we're
Yeah.
really getting things going. But as a small business owner, I appreciate Lincoln because I also want us buying from small businesses.
Right.
The mill, support the mill. I love the mill. I tell people all the time, buy coffee from the mill, locally owned, good people, everything about that. But anyhow, when you're in a small business and you're gone for 17 days, it's really scary. But I was at the airport and somebody said, "Hey, aren't you dreading getting back to the grind on Monday?"
Oh, no.
And I was like, "Oh, are you freaking kidding me?
Right.
I can't wait to see my people. I can't wait to get back. I am missing my people. I love being around them." So we do this Monday morning meeting thing. Rebecca, you're gonna have to come see it
Yeah,
sometime.
please. I want to come.
It is really special, and it's who we are. It's kind of molded in, but they did it on their own for a couple of weeks, and they did great. And now we have a sound system. We have moving cameras. I mean, like it has turned into almost like we've turned it into kind of a production because it's so important to get a message of mental toughness and mental awareness and where we are with the company and what state we are in the company. But I can't wait for Monday morning meeting. I'm giddy. I am already making. I've been working on my notes in Italy when I was sitting along the sea there. Melanie kept saying, "What are you writing?" I'm like, "I'm getting ready for my Monday morning meeting. I can't wait." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, you can't shut that off, can you?" And I'm like, "I really can't." But I'm in a different space right now. I'm very fortunate, Rebecca, that I can work. I really can spend 99% of my time working on the business and not in it. And it's so difficult for those to get away from their business to recharge their batteries when they're working in their business and not on it. And I laugh at people when they say, "Well, I read a book and it says I have to stop working in my business." And I always tell them, no. When you're smaller and you're grinding and you're out there, you have to be the one pushing the mower. Why do I always go to the mowing thing?
Yeah, I know. And I've sort of tapped out my network. I thought we were going to have some. We haven't. So we're going to have to come back to that.
I did get a text message from a friend. He says, "I'm an introvert, but I'll give it a try." And I said, "Just come on the show." So we'll see what happens. Okay. But with that being said, when you're working in your business and on your business, you have to make sure that you're doing both. But once you get to a point that you can start stepping away, and this is, I'm going to put this analogy with Tom Osborne, because I loved watching Tom Osborne coach. He had those kids in the 90s so well oiled and everything going so well that I never once saw him freak out. I never once saw him yell or scream at anybody or grab anybody's jersey or get anybody. Now, granted, I understand everybody's got their different style of coaching. But I really felt like I was able to step away for 17 days. And yes, I did take 2 phone calls, 2 very important phone calls. And mostly they didn't need anything but reassurance. And I calmly said, "Yes, I support that idea. Have you thought through everything? Would you like me to be the advocate against your idea? Or do you think you're good?" And they're like, "No, I just wanted to run it by." I said, "Then I think you're good." And both of them were exactly like that. And I was very calm. And they said, "Oh, I just needed to hear you say that." I think that's my getting to be more of my role now. And I'm very blessed that I have all these people. I did hear a story one time that Nebraska was playing Wyoming, I believe, in 1994, and we were losing at halftime. And Tom Osborne did firmly put his clipboard down. And the room went silent. Like I don't know if he threw it down or what it is, but I heard a story from a player.
Put it down.
But he firmly put it down, and he said, "Doggone it, guys." And now that is crazy getting nuts for Tom Osborne. So, but I really felt like if you are doing a good job of taking care of your people and doing what you're doing and empowering them and believing in them and have good culture. And by the way, culture is a constant thing. We always have to constantly be working on that. I think that you can do what I did, which is step away for literally 17 days with I was in Italy for about 15 and a half, I guess, with travel. But yesterday morning I was in Rome, Italy.
Yes.
Isn't that crazy?
It's awesome. I know, air travel is mind blowing when you do that. I mean, we were in DC last week and it was the same thing. I got up at 6 a.m. and we were here by 10.
Yeah.
It's just, I love air travel and be able to say I was in Rome yesterday morning.
I love it. And I love it that it's so easy to travel. Now I'm going to tell you, I am so happy to be back in America.
Yeah.
Italy is beautiful. And the history is beautiful, man. I saw a building that was built in 4 BC. That's a long doggone time ago.
Were you only in Rome, or did you get to
No,
go to
no. We
Duomo,
started up
Milan,
in Prague, and then we flew down to Venice, and then Verona, and then Cinque Terre, and then Florence, and then we stayed at this place called Alboro, which is a big 2,000 acre plantation that only has 60 rooms, so it's really cool.
Yep.
And then we went and finished in Rome.
Yep.
But I don't want to talk about my vacation too much, but I do want to let everybody know, because this is a business show.
It is, but business between Europe and the U.S.
It
be an
is
interesting
completely
topic.
different.
And I lived and worked in Europe.
Oh
so,
my
yep.
goodness. The business over there is so hard for me to even get my arms around. And the way they do business, and how hard it is to get a new business. I was talking to a restaurant owner, and now it was a third generation, but even for them to keep their business is so difficult, so much harder than it is in America. We really are in a land of opportunity.
Why is that? Did they tell you?
Well, one is the taxation is pretty high there, and two, the permits. I think there's some stuff going on behind the scenes with the permitting. And by the way,
bureaucracy
it's not,
in Italy is no picnic.
right. And by the way, it's not permitting on their bathrooms, because all their bathrooms are horrible over there. I mean, it's hard to find a good bathroom. But but permitting, when we complain about permitting in the United States, and I was walking up some stairs, and I could tell that, in the United States, we have codes for our stairs that they need to be consistent. So entrepreneurs out there, construction entrepreneurs especially, when you're building these things, stop complaining about the permitting, because it is good to have consistency on your steps and your handrails and your guardrails and your protection, and the little things that we do here in America is good. I used to complain about it. I used to get mad about it, and I understand. And construction is tough, and most small businesses struggle. By the way, my question for the day is about construction businesses. Okay. So let's just jump into this real quick, since we're talking about what percentage do you think, and I'll give you multiple choice.
Okay. Got my eyes closed.
Construction businesses fail. Just construction businesses fail within the first 3 years. Is it 22%, 32%, or 42% within the first 3 years?
Okay. So I don't know the actual answer, but I'm going to guess 42%.
You're right. 42.6% of all construction businesses fail within the first 3 years. And when I looked it up to see why, most of it is because they couldn't understand the permitting. They couldn't understand the accounting. They couldn't understand all the technical. They can do the work.
Yes.
But they can't. So my nugget for all you entrepreneurs out there, small businesses out there, this is a business nugget, is don't be afraid to outsource those things, those little things to help you, even if it's going through contracts. We just received a huge contract, a $5 million contract for a project down in Kansas City. And we actually called our attorney and said, this thing seems to us to be redundant in some things. Can you help us decipher it? And our attorney, we just paid him to do it. It was, it was $236.
Right.
But we had a professional looking at it. So, for all you small businesses out there, don't be afraid, or even ask a friend. Phone a friend and ask a friend and say, how can I get some help in this area? Because I don't want to see you fail. But those permits and all those things, I really appreciate them, because in Italy, oh my goodness, which granted, some of those steps were built.
Well, they're ancient.
In 1550.
So the riser is 3 inches and then 12 inches, right?
Right.
If you're lucky, right? And there's no handrails and all those wonderful things. I lived in Belgium. I lived in Brussels, and I worked there for 3 years. Yeah.
Oh my!
I worked in Brussels for 3 years for ExxonMobil, and then, but I had employees that worked for me in 17 different countries in Western and Eastern Europe at the time. So when it comes to permits and regulations and things, as it relates to the oil industry, I have a lot more experience, right? But also, we're a huge corporation.
I couldn't imagine
all the other things, and then. One of the most interesting things to me to compare and contrast from Europe, for example, is just how they treat workforce. And it taxes tied to that, because the benefits are much greater. There's a much higher expectation in Europe of vacation time, maternity leave, paternity leave.
They call it holiday over there.
They do call it holiday over there. So if you ever hear me I usually say holiday, because I was there. And, when you work in an international environment, you also speak like that. But the taxes, so taxes on gasoline. If you ever, did you drive over there?
I did not. We did. We took planes, trains, and taxis.
So gasoline over there is like $5 a liter.
Yeah.
So that's like $25, a gallon for.
And by the way, they go on strike all the time over there. it
Yes.
because the government runs so much stuff.
Well, they have these things called works councils, which are basically labor unions. I mean, that's the easiest way to understand it. So imagine if almost every company in the United States, which
Had a
it
labor
did at one
union.
time, had a labor union, right? So we did have a lot of that, but it was still kind of manufacturing,
Right.
and where I'm going to say blue collar type jobs where that lived. You did have more in the service industries, 50 years ago, but in Europe, they still exist everywhere. So our entire environment, if you had service workers of any kind, they were all in these labor unions, and even the management and all that. Only the really top management was kind of excluded from those kinds of things. So to me, that was one of the takeaways of the
Yeah, we had
difference
3
in the
different
US.
strikes we had to deal with.
Okay.
The train strike.
Well, Italy's just special, so
yeah,
I'm just
it
gonna
is.
call Italy out additionally, extra special.
Yeah, and we had a strike while we were in Prague,
Yeah.
but it was not that big of a deal. And then
Prague,
there was
Italy?
no,
Prague, the Czech Republic?
Prague, the Czech Republic.
Yeah, so I worked in Prague a ton.
Oh,
so we
you did?
Yeah, yeah.
What a beautiful city,
Oh,
by the way.
gorgeous.
Uh,
Did you stay
magnificent.
downtown?
Yes,
Oh,
yes, right
that's
downtown.
spectacular. Yeah, my center was about a mile out of town, but you could take it on the train. But I used to stay right down at the Marriott.
Oh,
right on the
I
square.
walked right by
Well,
that.
not right on the square. It's off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I love it, but regulation is really difficult over there, and I thought we had a lot of regulation here in America, and I'm very anti-regulation. But I do
Yeah.
appreciate what
We're
the
more of a
regulation that we have.
capitalist,
Right.
yes.
That's who I am. That's
Yep.
how I believe. But with that being said, I will tell you, I appreciate what we do over here, and the way we travel and the way we get around, and it
The
is.
stores are open all the time. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
You could buy anything after about 9 or 10 o'clock at night anywhere.
Well, and I noticed too that it's easy to get a dinner reservation from 6 to 8 than it is from 8 to
8
10.
to 10, yes.
8 to
Especially in
10.
Italy. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're not in a hurry. That's one thing
Definitely
I did
not.
appreciate.
Not trying to turn tables.
Here in America, we are always in a hurry. We're trying to
Right.
turn tables, trying to get that
But when you
that
s-
ROI.
When you sit in a restaurant in Europe, because I used to talk about this all the time because I am a business person, and I would be sitting there eating, and it was like they could care less if they ever turn this table. And this, we used to go to some high-end restaurants, just part of the work environment I worked and lived in, and they had no interest in turning a table ever. Whether it was in Belgium, France.
Right.
And these are high ticket things. And I'm sitting there thinking, how how much more money you could make if you would serve me? Because I'd actually like to eat faster
That is
than
not
3 hours.
their motto.
Right. So it's a 3-hour dinner. In Italy,
It is
maybe not
every-
quite as much.
no,
but
it
in
is.
Belgium and France, it's a 3-hour dinner because you got starters and all this other stuff. And they had no interest. And it used to blow my mind. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, no wonder these countries have
Yeah.
trouble.
Well,
Their
yeah,
business.
you have a starter, a first course, and a second course, and then a dessert. And
you're supposed to relax and eat.
oh yeah, and they
slow
always said,
and
"Oh, no
talk
problem,
and
no
right.
problem, relax. It's
Right.
no big deal. You
No.
just stay
Us
as long as
crazy
you like."
Americans,
Yes.
yes.
We
and
are
it-
I'm like shoveling it in as fast as I
Yes.
can, and then I'm full, and they're
Yes.
like, "Oh no, just sit back and rest."
right.
Well,
no.
anyhow, I loved it. But I will tell you the key point of being gone. And I encourage all entrepreneurs, please take a little bit of time away. Go fill
Mhm.
your cup, because I feel this new sense of urgency for this fourth quarter and where we're going. And this year's been a grind. Our people have worked their tails off, but I do feel like my cup is full, and I'm ready to finish the fourth quarter strong and have a good time. But yeah, so that's literally what I was on a plane yesterday morning at
Yeah.
9 a.m. When I texted you, I was in the air. I bought the
Oh,
app.
you
so
were?
I
I
could
thought
text-
maybe you were at the airport. Or
Yeah,
something.
nope. I was
Okay.
literally over the ocean.
Right, that's
We
always
flew
fun.
down over Spain and that. So, but anyhow, I don't want to go too much more into that, because I know that the people out there probably don't want to hear about my time away. But I will tell you, I encourage all entrepreneurs, please take some time off, fill your cup, recharge your energy. Your people deserve for you to be at your best.
Well, we've talked about that, so that's a great segue to me because I'm getting ready to leave tomorrow for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And I am going to a wellness center, and this was part of what I was going to talk about today.
Let's do it.
And because it has tangents to talk about new businesses that I'm interested in, so I thought, well, we can just sort of share that with the world if anybody wants to weigh in, and certainly you can too. So I went to a wellness center a few months ago. I've never done this.
Okay.
And so I was out researching what is a wellness center, like what did I really want? I just wanted to place like a retreat
Yeah.
thing, right? You just go be quiet, exercise, eat right, all that kind of thing. And I found this really cool place. It's in North Carolina. It suits me. But as a result of that, it was kind of a retraining on how to eat properly, right?
Okay.
And they do kind of mental health isn't the right word, but they kind of have therapists that can talk to you, right? So that you have a chance to have a mental health break also.
Absolutely.
And then exercise and then community. And what's fun is it's a bunch of business people basically that
Awesome.
go to this thing. So I'm excited to see who all's there and what stories I can learn from them. And I heard right after I left from some of my new friends there that somebody from ESPN came and stayed there.
Oh, no
So,
kidding.
yes. Anyway, I met a woman who writes who used to write policy. She lives in Paris, has kids here in the US. She's American or whatever, but used to write policy for the OECD, just random interesting lawyers, all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
So I'm excited about that. But the part of the nutrition piece, which has been really helpful to me, there are two things that have come out of that interest me for here in Lincoln. One is personal chef services for, I'm going to say, people that want to eat right and have that delivered to their house or have somebody cook for you. Because if you
Right.
want to continue on this nutrition path, it's a lot of work. And I like to cook, but I don't want to dedicate the time during a day to cook.
Right.
So, I've had interest in having somebody come cook or prepare meals or something, right? And all these services are great, except I'm 5'4", and I can't eat the amount of food that these
They
places
prepare.
send. So it's not really great for smaller people. I don't want to say women, but we're smaller than men. But let me just say smaller people, because it's enough food for two people or for
Right.
2 meals or whatever, right? So none of these meal services work for me because the portions are too big. So I got looking into this franchise that this place mentioned to me called Chefs for Seniors. And it's a very affordable franchise to get in, right? If you've ever looked at franchises, so I've looked at Subway, for example, or
It's
McDonald's,
expensive.
forget
Yeah.
it,
Oh,
right?
my
I
goodness.
mean,
Yeah.
you've got to have a lot of capital to do that. Subway is more targeted maybe to, mid-level people
Right.
later in
It's still
careers, whatever.
expensive.
It's still expensive, right? You're talking $500,000 or more,
Yes.
right, to buy into a franchise. This franchise I was looking at is like $20,000.
Oh,
or
my
something.
goodness.
Yeah. So and really it's databases and branding and marketing and that kind of a thing. So
Right.
kind of interesting. And then the other one, another friend that I met at this place who lives in Las Vegas was telling me about a place called Protein House. And this one I think really suitable for Lincoln. So they've been around since 2012. And they basically make these kind of balanced meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, more consistent with kind of the basic nutrition guidelines that you can find at the FDA, right?
Right.
The American Diabetes Association or places like this. And when I was teaching my class the last 2 years over at the university with these students, one of the main projects they were coming up with, this was an opportunity class, right? So they
Right.
had to come up with an idea, was a fast, casual, healthy place to eat. And, Chipotle is where a lot of us go when we attempt to get something like that,
Right.
because you can control what goes on the salad
Sure.
or whatever. No rice, but they have brown rice, all these things. And then they have protein and all that kind of stuff. So Protein House looks interesting to me. Now it's one of these larger franchise operations, right? It's 500 to 800,000 is what they're saying. Is the franchise fee, but it still interests me. And we have a lot of friends in this town, right, that run franchises like Charlie.
Right.
And I think it'd be interesting to evaluate. For me, this interests me. I want to see, could this town support, or this town in Omaha probably support a place called like Protein House? Because
Right.
when you look at it, it's a typical, I'm going to say, a Chipotle type style place, right? About that big. Kind of the similar setup of, create your own.
So are
creation
you
kind of
serious
thing.
about doing this?
Well, I just started looking. She just mentioned this to me a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
And I just started to look at it. I haven't contacted them or anything, but I'm kind of interested. Does our audience think this would be an interesting idea? Does Miss Ellie think this would be a good
Yeah.
idea? I mean, she's a recent grad. And when you were in school, did you have trouble finding stuff to eat, or did they feed you well there? What was the deal?
I lived, well, obviously freshman year, they had the dining hall, but also dining halls, depending on where you're going, what college you're at. I know UNL has multiple dining halls that you have different variations of that. And I know that Westland only has one dining hall. And I know that they try their best to make sure, and that's also just on the person to have that balanced diet, to have that, but also it's not the easiest or best options that you have.
It doesn't always taste great.
And
maybe?
it doesn't. It's
Yeah.
It's
I don't know
questionable
why.
sometimes. There's some
Uh-huh.
things that are just hit or miss. But then sophomore year, I got to live in the sorority house, and that
Right.
was so easy because our chef was making lunch and dinner every
Oh,
day.
wow.
So then after that, I lived in a house by myself
Mhm.
junior and senior year. So after that, it was you have to not fend for yourself in a way, but you have to figure out what you're doing and what you want to make
Right.
because you're not consistently having those meals. So that was something that I was able to grasp onto a little bit earlier compared to my roommates now because they lived in the sorority house up until senior year.
Right.
So they're having a little bit of a shell shock of what can I make that's good, that's not one, going to ruin my stomach, and two, that's actually going to be good for me.
Right.
And I think that's a universal thing for people going out of college and trying to figure out what is good for me and what's actually going to, because cooking, like you said, like I'm not a good cook.
Yeah.
People know that. Like if you know me, I'm not a person that's going out of their way. I'm really good at a casserole.
And you
I
made
can
some
make
rockin' cookies last
Yeah,
year.
thank you. Thank you. Yes, those are my go-to cookies, but I like baking more than I like cooking.
Yeah, same here.
So it's a little bit different and I've been trying to find different ways, but yeah, like a good place where it's not one, it's good for me, and two, like I know it's in a relatively affordable cost as well.
Right.
That goes into it because a lot of the broke college student thing is still a thing,
No,
like
it
coming
is,
out of like
yes.
it's not relatively easy to find places that are one, good for you, and two, are not going to break the bank.
Well,
I think-
and we need to learn how to cook too, because when I was over in Italy, all right, so get this, I was there 17 days.
Mhm.
I didn't miss a meal. Rebecca, I ate everything.
Right.
And I probably walked 18 to 28,000
Right.
steps a day, right?
Right.
Lots of walking.
Yep.
So I did exercise, and the fact that, but it was just walking, so
Yeah.
it's not that big a deal. But I ate every single meal, and I had a couple courses, and I ate more lasagna than you can ever imagine in your life, because I found this one place that I
You just
would
loved it.
stop there and have it as an
Well,
appetizer, and
everything's
then we
fresh
would go to
pasta,
dinner.
it's ridiculous.
But the way they cook over there, I literally came home and lost almost 2 pounds.
Yeah.
And I ate more than I've ever eaten here when I'm here. So learning how to cook differently, learning not to overcook your noodles, learning how to make
Portions.
more healthy.
Portion control is a big
Portion
one, yeah.
control
That's
is
what it is.
huge.
And then
Yes.
just balance. So the thing I've learned, and I've known this, I've studied this, I've been in fitness my whole life. I started bodybuilding when I was 27. So when you do that, you're into nutrition, all that stuff, but it has changed. Anyway, I've learned really how important it is to have the balance, four veggies a day and 3 fruits and all that kind of stuff. And when you're a college student, anybody, walking people down the street don't know some of those basic
Right.
rules about nutrition, right? So going someplace that you can trust understands that, because that combination of what you eat, when, and where actually makes a difference.
Do you think
If you're an
location
athlete, you know this.
location would be important in this business,
Location
right?
would be
Because
important in
you
this
want to
business.
be near people that want to be healthy, right?
Yes. And well, I think Lincoln and Omaha, and I think Ellie's generation and even the one before her, have a much higher affinity for eating healthy
Oh, you think so?
than I think our generation.
Okay.
I do.
I
I'm not
agree.
completely sure why that is, other than
I
maybe
know
just
it's just,
observing.
yeah. I think it's just this day and age of
Yeah,
what
it's-
is
well,
what's
there's
healthy, what's not
gluten-free
exactly.
and all
There's
these
keto,
trends of
where
keto,
there's
right.
it's just growing.
I mean, it's all born out of the diet world that, I grew up with Weight Watchers and those. I mean, I never did those things, but they
Yeah.
were fantastic for that generation, because that was really the first accessible kind of nutritional
Absolutely.
stuff. And it educated a wide trough of people, I guess. Is that a word? Anyway, so this interests me, but I think with the students, when I was teaching them and they were interested in having healthy food within the university, I think, Wesleyan we throw in here, right? In this area, the affordability is the issue.
Right.
And I didn't see the pricing at Protein House. There's not one here. The closest one is in Des Moines, and there's one in Kansas City. So I think Midwest would be attractive to them.
yeah.
There's not one in Omaha yet. So that has
I'll go.
me
I'll go
thinking.
check it out.
Yeah,
in
go
Kansas
check
City.
it out, because I think the other thing that could be interesting, and now, so this is the innovation part of this, and maybe we throw Mike Smith into this mix, is how could you sort of subsidize it to make it affordable, if you're a student.
Oh wow!
So how would you do that? What would this town support? How
So
would you
private
approach that?
enterprises trying to find a way to subsidize it so it could be more
just
affordable for students.
Make it an affordable scale.
Wow.
I mean, I'm thinking out loud, because that is the problem for anybody eating healthy. So I have had somebody doing the personal chef thing, and it's interesting. We're trying to figure it out. But at some level, it's not for everybody. It can cost money. So that's why I was talking to her about, hey, maybe we should do this chef for seniors and figure out how to make this work. So there's a bunch of stuff on the table we
Right.
can talk about. So this is Matt and Rebecca with Business Builders. We're 93.7 The Ticket. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
This is where it happens. Long hikes with friends, kayaking adventures with family, More horseback riding, zipline gliding, rock face climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Calling all caffeinated Husker fans. Looking to boost your energy and focus? Caffeine alone won't do the trick. Enter Cranium Energy Drinks based out of Fremont, Nebraska, founded by lifelong Husker fans. Cranium is more than just caffeine. Every can has highly dosed nootropics that help boost mental clarity, paired with 150 milligrams of natural caffeine to provide smooth, long-lasting energy as well as enhanced focus. Find it at Hy-Vee Health Markets in Nebraska and Council Bluffs, as well as select gas stations and supplement stores. Or purchase online at drinkcranium.com, spelled with a Y after the I. Enter code EARLYBREAK for 10% off your order.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Hi, I'm Sarai, your personal banker here at Midwest Bank. I'm proud to serve our community in English and in Espanol, because everyone deserves a banker who understands them. This Hispanic Heritage Month, we're celebrating the traditions, values, and dreams that make our community strong. Whether you're opening your first account, planning for the future, or growing your business, estoy aquí para ayudarle a alcanzar sus metas. I'm here to help you reach your goals. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
The temperature and leaves are falling daily, so that means it's time for a new pair of shoes for the fall season from Brown's Shoe Fit. Now through October 31st, take $15 off any regularly priced fall shoes and boots. Brands like Keen, Oboz, Echo, Taos, and Atrex all $15 off. Some exclusions may apply. See store for details. This is the sale you've all been waiting for, so get down to Brown's Shoe Fit on 66th and Q.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
You're listening to Business Builders on 93.7 The Ticket. Here are your hosts, Matt Warner and Rebecca Pearson.
All right. We're back. It's Matt and Rebecca, Business Builders 937 The Ticket. Don't forget to text us. You can text our phones directly if you know us, but we'd love to have you drop something in the chat for YouTube, or call us or text in to 402-464-5685. Don't forget that we record all of these, and we have some really great shows. One of our regulars and friends here was in the coffee shop this morning and was talking to me about a previous show, which I love. But our topics are very evergreen, as we say in the corporate world. They are timeless. They don't necessarily matter just for today. So we'd love to have you just check out our playlist on YouTube. We're always on Facebook and Twitter. So
and since we are on a radio station
Yes.
that loves the Nebraska Cornhuskers,
Yes.
what do you think? Give me a score prediction today.
Oh, no. There's
Come
no
on.
chance on earth you're getting me to predict. I'm going to predict
No way.
that Nebraska wins.
Oh, come on.
No.
By
seriously.
3 or more.
Okay, by 3.
By 3 or more.
Or more. Now, I'm going to say by 3. All right, there you go.
Okay, by
And
3.
it's going to be a field goal, which is going to wig us out. It's going to go down to
Oh,
the
my
last
goodness.
couple of minutes.
I
We're gonna
can't
be
wait.
all stressed out, and I'm going to give it to the Huskers. The Huskers have gotten so much better. So I'm a lay sports person, right?
Okay.
I'm married to the sports
The
person,
sports guy.
right?
Yes.
The guy knows everything, statistics, never wrong.
And
I
you
mean, so much fun
and
to
you are
watch
the
a
owner
game.
of a very powerful sports station.
Correct.
Yet
Correct.
business is your jam.
Correct. Well, okay, but to run a sports station, you need
Yes.
a business person, and you need
A
a
sports
genius
person.
sports person
I
like
love
my
it.
husband, Derek Pearson. So anyway, yeah, he won't predict stuff, but we talk about how good the team is getting, and as a lay person, what I see is discipline, and this is
I do
true
too.
in a business.
In a business.
Right? When you start a business, we're going
Yes.
to talk about startups versus franchises, maybe. You do see the evolution of it starting to hum like a machine. You get the right people. There's a groove. We have this at the Ticket, right? We've got this awesome groove with our people. Everybody knows what everybody else is doing. There's a lot of communication. You're talking, and people are pitching in to help them. If you make a mistake,
Right.
it's yep, we made a mistake. I got you, or let's review that, whatever. You have that, and you see that. I see that in the Huskers, and I don't really know what I'm looking at.
And I am telling you,
But I
I
can
am
see
not
that.
kidding you. This is a perfect relatable topic to business, and that because I'm telling you, for 16 years, I've been grinding it, and I was very disciplined on my Friday afternoon reports, my Saturday morning book reviews, my Monday morning meetings. Like there's certain things in our business that we did no matter what.
Yes.
No matter what. And we always got up and we always did them. And I see the Huskers doing this too. I'm going to say they're going to win by 17. I really think that this team is pissed off about last week. They had a week to prepare, and you're going to see a different team this week. I think this is what's important in business. So as you're building your business, folks out there, 'cause this is a business show. You'll get to a certain point where all of a sudden, I relate it to baseball. That I've heard great hitters say that they can see the laces when they're in the groove.
Yes.
And I think that that's what this football team that we have right now is starting to see. They're starting to see the laces, and I think Coach Rule's doing a great job of staying calm, but yet being disciplined and saying, you know what, I'm not satisfied with this. Our expectations are higher. But in business, it's the same thing. You have to be able to get to a point where you see the laces and you know your growth and you set your goals and you plan. Goal setting is so big in business. Please, everybody out there, another nugget. It's time to start setting your goals next year right now. So everybody out there, get your goals down.
Budget
Now,
season's over for me.
it's completely done.
Yep,
Now
we're
it's
done
time to
next
focus and say, let's go next year.
Right.
But enough about that. Hey, but back on that last segment, we were talking about franchises.
Yes.
I want to talk a little bit. What is your what do you think's better? Doing a franchise, buying an existing business, or a startup? Which one of those three do you like the best? Or are they each three blended in? That's a question for you.
Yeah, they appeal to me for different reasons. And, I think buying an existing business has the benefits of buying a used car, right? The kinks are worked out in theory. If you're buying one that's viable,
Yes.
let's put it that way, right?
Yes.
That has some good bones.
I agree.
To it, then some of the kinks are worked out, the models, right? You might still be able to improve on it, but some of those basic things you don't have to
Right.
think about. So I think some of it comes down to talent. What do you have the talent to do? If your thing is to figure it out initially, then maybe a startup is more interesting if you got that creative brain, whatever, right? Leveraging that talent. We talked about this when you have a startup in one of our previous shows.
Yes.
Over time, the founder often steps back and leaves because they don't have the skills to run the ongoing operation for a long time.
And they get bored.
And they get bored. Now, a franchise, completely different to me in that respect. You're buying an idea, but it's kind of like a startup because you still got to make it work, although the systems in theory are worked out.
Yep.
But for me, the franchise opportunity that's interesting is the branding and the marketing support that you get and kind of the analysis of what kind of location statistics, what do you need to make that work? And in theory, they have a proven model, but it's kind of like a startup
Right.
to me.
And they have built-in models to help you scale rather than
Yes,
grow.
correct.
They're already in there. By the way, for the record, everybody out there, there's a difference between scaling and growing. We've talked about this. If you're listening to our shows, we're trying to also teach you in these shows different things that you need to know as a business owner.
Yes.
Yeah, that scaling a business is a way to make the business get bigger without adding more people, more equipment, more tools. It's to be more efficient. To grow your business, you need to add another skid loader, another truck, another trailer, another crew. That's growing your business. So there's two. I believe franchises do a good job of that scaling part of it.
Well, and I think probably, and I don't know this, so we were talking about some of our franchise buddies that we should have on. So Charlie, if you're listening, we're going to have you on here.
Yes, please, Charlie. And bring some Chick-fil-A,
I
please.
do think basic franchise models not require, but probably plan on multiple locations to make them work, because like anything, I mean, our station's a little bit unique because many radio stations have the same kind of model, is you get those overhead efficiencies. Overhead can be very expensive for these places. And so you need efficiencies of sharing the overhead across multiple locations. And so many franchise owners, if you know them, do own multiple locations. And because I'm not one, I'm not going to assume all the reasons why that is, but I think that would be one of the drivers. But the great thing that comes with a franchise is the branding, a proven concept somewhere. And I think all your analysis is, can that concept work here? So we were talking about Protein House and Chefs for Seniors. I think both of them, I mean, Chefs for Seniors to me is a no-brainer. If I can convince my friend to do it, I think she should do it, or we do it together, because the baby boomers are this huge generation. I'm the last year of the baby boomers, and we don't, at some level, don't want to cook for ourselves. And many people
they're
want to
retiring
stay
at
in
a
their homes.
rapid rate.
Yes, and if you stay in your own home until you disappear off this earth, then having somebody cook for you could be very compelling. The other way to do that is to move into independent living, assisted living, and have those kinds of things. But I think this Chefs for Seniors concept is an awesome one for Lincoln/Omaha. So if you're a chef and listening to this, let me know, because I'm very interested in this concept. And then over time, maybe over in one of these future shows, just like you were sharing some of your future ideas, we could start to examine whether the Lincoln Omaha market could support a place like Protein House.
Right.
And maybe there's somebody out there that wants to partner, and maybe somebody out there that actually wants to do it. I just thought this was a good idea because I've been looking for these things myself, and I tripped over the concept. So
I love it.
In reverse, startup, existing business, or franchise for you.
Well, so I've done two of the three. I've done a startup. Empire was 100% just a startup. Literally started in my kitchen, and I knew I had a good idea and the work ethic. So all I had to do was go apply it. But I will tell you, now that I have things kind of rolling, I like finding good small businesses that want to scale and grow, that have a good customer base, and then bring them into us, introduce our culture, introduce our systems, And that's what we have now. So we have one business that basically all it is a support for everybody else. That's literally its own set of books and everything. It bills all of my other companies.
Right.
So that's able to help keep our overhead down for all the companies, but yet make us more powerful because we don't have to use third party for marketing. We don't use third party for accounting. We don't use, we do it all in house. So I like that. But I would tell people out there, if you're going to buy a business that's already existing and you've never been experienced at it, I would probably try to push them away from that a little bit, because I don't, they think they're going to walk in and it's going to be self-efficient, and it's not. You have to keep rowing the boat.
Right.
So a startup's good because you can walk before you run. In a sense, I would love to look at a franchise someday, just to experience it, to hear everybody else, because it comes with a full package of ideas. It literally says, okay,
and all the systems,
a protein house probably says, okay, this is our marketing strategy. We have to hit this many people, do this many, this. Here's already a built-in HubSpot for anybody out there that doesn't know HubSpot, CRM systems that you can email all these people and get all this. So entrepreneurs, if you're listening and you're driving down the road, first of all, I'm gonna encourage everybody. If you're driving down the road and you're working for somebody else, and I even tell people in my business that work for me, or not for me, for our company, no one really works for me anymore. Let's be honest. I am an employee now at the Empire and Families. If you're driving down the road and you want to change your life and you want to dream of doing something, please take the step and go fail, and because you're going to learn, but just don't give up. Go out there and try it. Look into these franchises, ask for help. There might be people that give you seed money. We spotted some seed money for a young man that wanted to start his own HVAC business, especially because I was like, he's got the work ethic. He's good at it. He doesn't want to be in our business anymore. He's an entrepreneur, and I knew we weren't going to keep him. So we gave him some seed money. We just said, go start your business. And he's doing just fine. So if you're driving down the road today, listening, you're getting ready for the big Husker game, and Michigan State's coming to town, and you're like, man, I just want to have my own business someday. Go do it. Take the leap. The scariest thing is standing at the cliff. By the way, I'm going cliff jumping in 2.5 weeks.
Oh my gosh, where are you going?
I'm going out to Moab. They hook a cable to your back, and you jump off of a 600-foot drop off.
Oh my gosh! Are you gonna have a GoPro on your head?
I'm gonna have a GoPro, and hopefully, my plan is to bring it home and talk about that feeling of right before you jump, and so I'm hoping that's what I can share with you, because that's the only reason why I'm doing it. Because everybody keeps saying that when you start a business, the scariest part is standing at the edge of the cliff.
Oh, interesting.
Once you jump, it's all go, right? And that's when you get the thrill of actually being in the business.
And then completing the jump and realizing you're still alive. At
that it was fine. Right? It was no big deal.
And I think the cable is an interesting analogy. If we want to talk about, again, previous shows, previous guests, right? The Arrive Business Center is here in town. Is designed specifically to help people starting a business, whether it's a startup concept or even taking something else over. It's 100%.
That's the cable.
That's the cable. Right. So you don't have to jump by yourself,
or the parachute, or whatever.
You can go either one. I think either one. Right. They cover the full services. So if you're not familiar, if you're sitting here listening to Matt and he's got you all jazzed up, you need to go start your business, then look up the Arrive Business Center. That's exactly what they do. Is they help small businesses figure out, how do I do this? And I just had a call yesterday, believe it or not, from someone who had that same need. And I was like, you need to call Arrive. So this is Matt and Rebecca with Business Builders. We're 93.7 The Ticket. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
It's hard to choose a favorite at Hog Wild, but I'd have to say it's their award-winning ribs. Hog Wild buys their meat from those who share their high-quality standards, then hand rubs each slab with their famous seasoning blend and slow smokes them over hickory each and every day for flavor and tenderness you're gonna keep coming back for. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Hi, my name is Molly Party. I'm a realtor with MP Dodge Real Estate. I'm a newly licensed agent and considered numerous brokerages before deciding on MP Dodge. I chose the company that gives me the most support in my new career, plus guidance and encouragement along the way. MP Dodge has a unique mentoring program for new agents. It's helped jumpstart my career and has a supportive management team and administrative staff. So if you're contemplating a career in real estate, look no further than MP Dodge. It will be the best decision you make.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through October 5th, enjoy 8-ounce USDA choice bacon wrapped sirloins for $5.88 each. All natural boneless chicken breast, $2.99 per pound. Fresh pork sausage, $2.49 per pound. And fresh salmon fillets for $9.99 per pound. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Football game days are fun for the whole family, but not every child is ready for 4 quarters in the stadium. That's why the Lincoln Children's Museum offers game day play dates for kids ages 5 to 12. While you enjoy the game, your kids enjoy their own adventure at the museum, conveniently located just steps from the stadium. Registration required. And the fun isn't just on game days. The museum is open 6 days a week with 3 floors of hands-on play and activities. Out-of-town families, make the most of your weekend in Lincoln. Visit lincolnchildrensmuseum.org.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinny Krikak of State Farm Insurance.
Did you know that deer collisions are covered under the comprehensive portion of your car insurance? That means, like with hail damage or vandalism, since they are out of your control, they don't usually raise your insurance rates. And that's a good thing, since most deer don't carry liability insurance. At Eustace Body Shop, we fixed all kinds of animal collision damage, from cows to raccoons, bobcats, and even turkeys. We can't do much for the animal, but we can get your car back on all fours and looking like new again.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
You're listening to Business Builders on 93.7 The Ticket. Here are your hosts, Matt Warner and Rebecca Pearson.
Hey, welcome back to Business Builders 93.7 The Ticket. It's game day, Michigan State. We're starting to see some people roaming around on O Street. Matt and Rebecca talking all sorts of business stories, from comparing Europe and the U.S. business to startups and franchises. And then just as we were going to break, I'm sitting in our studio on O Street. I'm looking across the street. So if you're not aware now, the Hampton Inn at 11th and O is now open, which is exciting. So the old Gold's building, speaking of businesses that evolve,
Yes.
right? This is the old department store. I didn't live here then, but I think this was a department store, and it's now a hotel. So there's and they've managed to keep all the wonderful decor, and I think probably the iconic look of this building. It's awesome. But in the main level of the hotel is a restaurant that is coming soon called the Rib and Chop House. So we were just doing a little research at the break to see what this is, and lo and behold, it is a franchise.
Yeah,
Now,
and we could use a few more good restaurants in Lincoln.
yes, and we were talking about some fine dining. And down here, I was saying that Misty's is the closest thing right around the corner that I would feel, I haven't looked at the Chop House directly, but I would assume is going to be competing with Misty's. And, competition is good. Sometimes you can build demand and you're just
Right.
adding to and not stealing. But along the same lines, I was also going to talk about Starbucks today, because the Starbucks that's at the corner of 13th and P, probably somewhere in there, has announced that it's closing or closed.
Right.
Right.
And
I
it
think
was there 2 days ago, and then a day
And then
after,
it's
it's just
gone.
gone. I was walking by, and it was all, and then there was a sign on the door. I had walked past
Right.
it, stopped myself, and said, "I'm gonna read that sign. Let me turn around," and saw that it was, "We're so
Gone.
sorry. We're
Closed.
getting rid of this location," which is
Yes.
crazy because every day that I drive by it, every
Busy.
single day I come to work, it was always busy
Yeah.
around like 8 o'clock. I would want to maybe go. I'm like, no, because it's so busy.
It was always busy, and I went by there later in the afternoon, and it was always busy. Now, so we could talk about why any company closes locations, right? It may not simply be there wasn't enough business, but it might be, and especially when you think about Starbucks. I can only imagine their top performing stores, those metrics,
Yep.
even though this place might have looked busy, might not have been like a top performing Starbucks.
Well, and
they're-
just because people are in there does not mean it's busy.
Correct. Right. It
Yep.
looks busy to us. That's what I'm saying. So, but a Starbucks, I mean, their metrics for cranking through people must be astronomical. And there is a Starbucks in the Union, and it's a very nice Starbucks, and the Union's only a couple of blocks away. So I'm guessing that this was the original. Again, I'm not from Lincoln, was here. Then they put one in the Union. Students are a big piece of that audience. And during COVID, the downtown basically left downtown.
horrible.
So all other than students and a random few offices and people that live here, you don't really probably have the traffic that you used to. And so it may have just taken a few years for Starbucks to say, yeah, I guess it's time to close. They may have a completely different reason for doing it, right? Just want a smaller footprint, getting more efficient with overhead. I mean, there could be a million things.
Sure.
What do you think?
Well, you know what? I learned a long time ago. Don't jump to any conclusions on anything, because you just don't know
You
the
don't
backstory.
know.
And you know, so but I will tell you this: business is hard. Even when you have a really good business, it's hard. It's a grind. You have to constantly be doing it, but you have to focus. And whatever you focus on grows. And maybe it was just the fact that they needed to focus somewhere else,
Right.
or put their focus
Or growing stores in the higher
yeah.
growth areas.
Yeah, and we don't know for that, but I will tell you, I am excited about this chop house. I'm excited about what Lincoln is doing. I think I will tell you, I love now. We're doing a tailgate today. We do a company tailgate every single week for our people that just come down and go. Well, no, we do it downtown. It's at the Huddle, right next to the Huddle building, that empty parking lot right there.
Okay.
So if anybody's walking by and you hear me on the radio and you want to stop by and say hi, just ask for Matt. You'll see us. We have a big Empire tent there, and it's right along the alley there in that parking lot. But I love the atmosphere downtown this time of year. And whether you're a sports fan or not, I tell people, come to Lincoln and just see it. It's a sea of red. Everybody's nice. It's so much fun. Usually you end up tailgating with total strangers and meeting new people, and it's a great way to support our economy. But I will tell you, with the concerts, a couple weeks ago, they had a football game, a volleyball game, a concert on Friday, and concert on Saturday. I believe Cody Johnson played both nights.
Cody did,
and then he was downtown, and he was
Right.
walking amongst the people and walking out. And I just love what we're doing in Lincoln. And I'm a pro business guy. In Italy, there is a restaurant on every single corner, but I don't know the story. I kept trying to figure out the story on each one. I love the fact that when I come to Lincoln and I walk through different businesses, I know some of the business owners, right? So when I walk in there and I buy my meal there and we spend $40 or $50 there, I feel like I'm giving money to my friends. And that's really what small businesses are all about, is supporting each other. And that's why I buy coffee whenever I come here. Every single time I come here, I try to get a cup of coffee and I listen to this radio show because I know you and DP. And so while we're going out there, I encourage all of you small business owners out there, tell your friends that you have a business and ask for them to come and support you and do it. And they're going to do it with open arms.
Great way to close out for the weekend. Please, if you enjoy this show, let us know. Let us know what topics you'd like to hear about. We love sharing with you. Matt's
and go Big Red!
Fresh off the flight from Rome, and go Big Red. This is Business Builders, Matt and Rebecca. See you next week.